The Pope's Final Message, Revelation and Rebellion, Volume 2 of the Trilogy. Author's Audio Series, Chapters 12 and 13, by P.J. Gott and Logan Light. Chapter 12, Pretext and Leverage, Albuquerque, New Mexico, April 24th, 2025. The hum of an old ceiling fan stirred the warm desert air inside the modest apartment. A Yorkie named Rocket trotted across the floor, pausing to sniff at an empty pizza box, while Karen sat barefoot on the couch, scrolling on her phone, visibly restless. Don stood by the window, staring out at the streetlight glow. He had just hung up a call, the kind of cryptic call that left no trace and lasted under a minute. "Well?" Karen asked, not looking up. "It's set," Don said, voice low. "We're on." Karen finally looked up, frowning. "You're sure?" He turned to her. "We got our instructions. The payment will be in cash. We do the job, we get the money clean and fast." "What's the job exactly?" He shrugged. "Simple retrieval, no names, no IDs, just two small dogs, both under 20 pounds, belonging to a couple living in Santa Fe. We watch, we wait. You get close. When the time's right, we pick 'em up and vanish." Karen narrowed her eyes. "This isn't just blackmail," she said. "It feels like we're erasing something." Don grunted. She continued, "And why are we doing this instead of, I don't know, a couple of guys dealing drugs in someone else's territory?" Don smirked. "Because this job doesn't call for blunt force. It needs subtlety. A woman with a cute dog. A guy who can keep a low profile. We're just a nice couple with a Yorkie, new to town, making friends." Karen scratched Rocket's ears. Her expression clouded. "Don, you know how women feel about their dogs. I don't like this." "I don't either," he admitted. "But it's not about hurting anyone. It's leverage, that's all." She looked down. "What if it's more than that?" "It won't be," he said quickly. "No violence, no ransom, just a message. They'll get a warning, and they'll back off from whatever it is they're working on. End of story." Karen tilted her head. "You even know what they're working on?" "Nope, and we're not supposed to. Just told it's sensitive. No idea. Maybe they're whistleblowers. Or maybe they're writing some tell-all to embarrass some sleazy politician. All I know is the women have something someone once kept quiet." "Someone, huh?" she said. "So we're working for ghosts now?" Don shrugged. "The call came from a guy in Phoenix. He didn't give a name, just credentials. Said he represents high-level clients. That's all I need to know." Karen was quiet for a moment. "You trust him?" "I trust the money's real, and I trust we can walk away if it goes sideways." She stood and crossed to the kitchen, pouring herself a glass of water. "What if it's a setup? What if it's some cartel thing, or worse?" He shook his head. "It's not that kind of gig. Too clean, too precise. You could tell this guy does this kind of work for people in suits and collars, not street gangs." Karen turned, raising an eyebrow. "Collars?" Don froze, then gave a sheepish smile. "You know what I mean." She stared him down. "No, I don't." "It doesn't matter," he said. "They're powerful. They want the job done quietly, and we do quiet well." Karen returned to the couch, scooping Rocket into her lap. "You're sure they won't ask us to hurt the dogs?" "They said hold, not harm. And if things go south, we give them to a rescue. Find a loving home. There's options." She shook her head slowly. "You've never had a dog, have you?" "I've had a job, and rent, and bills," he said. "This gets us ahead. That's all I'm thinking about." Karen kissed Rocket's head. "We'll use the names we planned. Keep it friendly. I'll meet them in the plaza, see if they open up." "You're good at that," Don said. "Make it natural. Talk about dogs, weather, the price of kibble. Let them trust you." Karen gave a thin smile. "I'm not a monster, Don, I swear. If they tell us to kill those dogs—" "We don't," he interrupted. "I'm not a monster either. We bail. Simple as that." She leaned back. "Just promise me something." "Anything." "Whether this works or not, we never take a job that requires dog napping again." Don's face softened. "Deal," she whispered. "I hate this already." Don nodded grimly. "I know. But it's only a couple of days. We're in, we're out, we're done. Rocket yawned, curling into Karen's arms. Outside, the wind shifted. Tomorrow, they would head north. Tomorrow, the game would begin. Chapter 13, The Venus Thread. Santa Fe Plaza, April 25th, 2025. It was a crisp April morning, with just enough breeze to stir the scent of roasting chili through the square. Artisans were setting up booths, tourists snapped photos of the cathedral, and three dogs, Lucas, Peanut, and a little Yorkie named Rocket, sniffed each other cautiously under the shade of a cottonwood tree. Karen laughed. Looks like they're forming a pack already. Leah smiled, crouching beside Lucas. He's normally shy, but he loves little dogs. Same with Rocket, Karen said. He's our icebreaker. We're new to Santa Fe, just moved in last week. Welcome, Pamela offered, stepping forward with Peanut under one arm. Where from? Los Angeles originally, but we've been on the road a bit. My partner's doing freelance work, so we figured, why not try somewhere beautiful? Good choice, Leah said. It's quiet here, but weirdly full of stories. That's exactly why I love it, Karen replied. It's like everyone's searching for something. And the art, oh my God, the galleries. The women chatted for a while longer about dog-friendly trails, the best cafes, and the endless labyrinths of pottery and turquoise. Don watched from the rental car a block away, sunglasses hiding his eyes as he sipped bitter coffee. After a final round of sniffing and tail wagging, Karen waved. Well, I'll probably see you again. Rocket seems smitten. Pamela grinned. Lucas and Peanut give their approval. Later that evening, Leah leaned over a new page they hadn't seen before. Pamela, listen to this. Pamela took the page and read it aloud. The sons of the client kings, one of Emesa, one of Pontus, each sought to wed a daughter of the Hasmonean Herod Agrippa. Azizus courted Drusilla, Polemo, Bernice. Neither daughter would agree to marry unless her suitor submitted to circumcision. One did, then the other. Still, both were rejected. Leah blinked. Wait, that's in there? And more, Pamela continued reading. Philo says Josephus records it too, in different places, but they were the same man, split in story to hide his true identity. Leah whispered, a Nazarene? Uncircumcised? Pretending to be two separate kings in the Roman East? Yes, Pamela said. Azizus from Emesa and Polemo from Cilicia. Give me a minute, Leah said slowly. One man from Emesa, one from Cilicia. Both offered themselves for marriage to royal Hasmonean daughters, Bernice and Drusilla. And both were cast aside. She shook her head. That's crazy. Pamela continued reading. Philo's note explains that Azizus is from Isis plus Zeus, and Polemo is from Pele and Em, translated wondrous mother. She scanned ahead. Wait, it says he was also known as Felix. Leah blinked. As in the Felix who questioned Paul in Acts? Pamela nodded slowly. Same man, different mask. He was a Nazarene, Gamaliel and Philo's younger son. Leah sat down. This is incredible. And, Pamela continued, Philo's note says he was also known as Bar Jesus in Jerusalem, and Bar Gamaliel, and his father was Gamaliel, and his father of the same name, Polemo. Jesus and Bar Jesus hidden again, Leah murmured, buried beneath layers of names, titles, and rejections. Pamela stood again, pacing, her hand appearing to hold her chin to keep it from falling to the floor. And, Philo says, our final metamorphosis was as Polemo and Caenis, the goddess who was transformed into a man, which I was many times over. Our final resting place now stands waiting on the east side of Rome, a Bethlehem, to hold Elohim and Betulaim and her beloved Yazus the Nazarene. Leah's eyes threatened to pop out. The baker's tomb. Philo actually entered the baker's tomb into her journal before she died? She paused. But you already knew they were laid to rest in the baker's tomb. Confirmation is so sweet, Pamela whispered through a satisfied smile. Silence settled around them. The weight of their project now seemed far too heavy for two women to bear, and spinning brains failed to find words. Finally, Pamela said, "This isn't just about finding the feminine line. It's about revealing how the Nazarene line preserved peace throughout the Roman Empire. Cleopatra, Julius, Antonius, they didn't just leave a bloodline, they left a design. Their sons and daughters became Rome's client kings, their grandchildren too. The wars? Fiction. The names? Masks. All of it. Scripted by the daughters disguised as men." "It says that?" Leah shouted, looking over her shoulder. "Yes," Pamela pointed. "Here. Philo, Plutarch, Livy, Virgil, Tacitus. And she notes that Pythagoras was also a woman." Leah traced her finger along the margin where a small sigil appeared. "Look, it's the star again. 8 points. Venus, Inanna, and beside it, NSR. Nassar, Ansar, Kesar, Caesar," Pamela whispered. "Every thread leads back to the same source." Leah looked up, her eyes wide. "What else is buried in here? How deep does it go?" Pamela gave a soft, knowing smile. "We've barely begun. The sky's the limit, no pun intended." Leah let out a quiet laugh. "Following Philo has turned out to be quite an experience. I just hope we're worthy of telling it." Pamela's eyes lit up. She sprang to her feet. "That's it!" Leah blinked. "What?" Pamela grinned. "You just named our book." Leah frowned. "Quite an experience?" "No, silly," Pamela said, beaming. "Following Philo.